Hi, welcome. I'm so glad that you're here for our social media overhaul class. If you've ever felt like your social media just isn't working hard enough for you, this is probably the reset that you're going to need. By the end of today, you're going to know how to audit your profile so you can spot what's helping and what's hurting. Then we'll optimize your bio, your visuals, and the links so they actually start converting. And then we'll map out content ideas that speak directly to your audience. So you're going to have clear call to action that's going to grow leads. And you're going to set up a 30-day simple plan that helps you to stay consistent. So let's go ahead and dive in. I have a couple things up on my screen today. And in the audit, what I want you to think about before you can grow is to know what you have already. So there's a few questions that I want you to ask yourself, and that's going to be, does your bio clearly state what you do and who you serve? Is that profile picture professional and consistent with your branding across all of your platforms? Does the link in your bio lead to somewhere that's valuable for your audience? And do they match across your brand style? So the key is, what I want you to do, write down what's working. And we have a workbook that you can get and write it in there and follow along. Or you can just write this on a notepad somewhere or just take notes or mental notes. But basically, I want you to take a look at what's working, what needs improvement, and then pick your top 3 fixes. So that way, these are quick wins for today. If you do everything all at once, you're probably going to burn out. So I just want you to focus on the top 3, get that momentum, and then build from there. So I have a few things on my screen that I want to share with you. And we have picked apart one brand across all of their socials, and then we're going to take a look at them. So let's go ahead and share screen. And with that, we want to share screen, and I'll just share the whole thing so that way we can see everything that's happening. Okay. And what you see here is the one brand that I've picked that we can follow all the way across their brand. Okay. So in here, we want to identify any gaps. Then we want to upgrade the profile, and let's start directly with that bio. The bios sometimes in our businesses become too vague and there's a gap. And we want to make it specific and results focused with some action oriented information in there. So, an example would be helping women build confidence. That would be a generic one. If we replaced it with helping women over 40 regain confidence with the mindset, tools, and daily routines, I want you to download my free 3-step guide. Then we add the link that takes them to get what you need. And that was the free guide or a landing page or a consultation. So don't forget those visuals and the brand colors and the fonts, and then stick with them. And then update your headshot so it's professional, or your logo. So think of this as your storefront. People decide whether or not to keep working with you or to keep scrolling. So let's take a look across. You'll see here Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, and our YouTube channel here for them. Starting with Facebook, let's go over here. And at the very top of their page, they have their logo, their iconic logo here and here. And they have their name verified. And we go straight down to, this is the bio. So we want to talk about your bio. Then we'll go to optimizing the actual profile. Lowe's knows no matter what you're doing, it's easier to get it done when you've got the right people. That's how they have it across their Facebook. Again, their logo is up here, brand consistent through the colors. Same picture, your destination for Lowe's finds, helpful hacks, must try DIYs, and a link that says shop our feed. And if we click that, that takes them to a shoppable store. Visit link in the bio, shop our feed. And these are the things that we would be able to shop Lowe's.com. So products from the feed takes us there. That's our call to action. They've taken me off of Instagram straight through onto their Lowe's.com website. If we were to look at LinkedIn, as I did the search for Lowe's, I was not able to find Lowe's companies, Lowe's Pro, Lowe's Groups, a foundation, and Canada. So let's try this one since this one was one that was already created by other people. We have Lowe's Company in Mooresville, North Carolina. And let's view their page. And what we see here is the same logo. Do it right for less, start with Lowe's. And the overview is that spot where we're talking about where we want to put some information in that bio. Does it clearly say what you do and who you serve? Is your profile picture consistent? Is there a link that takes us somewhere valuable? And the visuals match. Lowe's Company is a Fortune 50 home improvement company serving 20 million customers a week in the United States. Lowe's and its related businesses operate more than 2,200 home improvement and hardware stores and have 300,000 associates based in Mooresville. They support communities, programs, safe, affordable housing, and all of that stuff. So this is along the lines of their corporate headquarters and information about them. Every vest tells a story. So now we have something up here that's visual. None of them at the top have been the same, as you've noticed. And that blue and that blue are a little bit inconsistent. But overall, it's pretty on brand in terms of this picture here. Then we go to TikTok. So I wanted to bring up TikTok because there's, again, the same thing that we had in LinkedIn, the same thing that could happen to you, the same thing I want you to be aware of for your brand, that there is an opportunity that there are other names that are going to show up and confuse audience members. So there's Lowe's and there's Lowe's Home Improvement. I kept this on the screen because I wanted you to see that Lowe's Home Improvement is called Lowe's Home Improvement and it has 22 followers. Lowe's is Lowe's with 578 followers, 1,000. But it says live, laugh, Lowe's, shop our feed. And when I click on them, you'll see this is at Lowe's Official. And this one is at Lowe's Home Improvement. So be aware of what's happening with your brand. And that's why branding is consistent. And if you have a brand that you need to get verified and have that check mark behind your name, so people know that they're actually following the right brand, it's really important that you invest the time and energy to do that and get that check mark. So this is the Lowe's Official. And in here on their TikTok, that's their logo. We have the check mark, live, laugh, Lowe's, and shop our feed. Visit link bio, shop at Lowe's, which is the same link that we were running here. Visit link bio, shop at Lowe's, which takes us here. So they, again, have carried that through from platform to platform. And remember, this is our social media overhaul. So we want to see what it looks like completely across the spectrum for all of the audiences to make sure that all of the audiences have that same representation, regardless of what platform they're using. Here's the fake one. There's no bio yet. Nothing is here. And I imagine what has happened since something went wrong, that Lowe's has probably actually shut this one down. And the last one that I have open on the screen here is our YouTube channel. And if you are looking how to do something, if you want to get a tutorial on installation or product usage, this is probably the place where you're going to go to engage with the brand. They have 1.3 million subscribers and there is 1,500 videos available. And it says Lowe's is your home improvement resource offering how-to videos. So let's expand the bio right here. Videos, DIY projects, landscaping, lawn care ideas, and more helpful videos full of inspiration and step-by-step instructions. That is so important for the branding of Lowe's because this is the capital for DIYers. You're going to go and get your product and you're going to bring it home and you want to do something in your home, in your business, anywhere that you're working. If that is your job, these are the things that you want to know is how to use them, inspiration, and ways to make it better. There's new uploads all the time, so keep checking back. So they actually said something in here that was encouraging for people to have engagement with the brand. subscribe. And what they want us to do here, the action wasn't to shop, but to subscribe and stay engaged. So as you begin to watch videos on how to do something or implement something else, you're probably going to run back to Lowe's because there's something there that was inspirational to get you back in the store. So they want you, instead of going to shop from Instagram and TikTok, to watch and consume more videos so you get more inspiration, so you'll go right back to the store. They have optimized theirs with all of the links. So we have the website, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest. Pinterest is another creative outlet for them. So people who are coming up with ideas, people who are coming up with home improvement, all of the ideas are going to be found on their Pinterest board. Instagram again, and there is a how-to library. More information here. They've been here since 2006, 1.3 million subscribers, 1,500 videos, and a whole bunch of views. Okay, so that covers the look, the bio, and the action when people get to your brand. I wanted to come up with something that everybody is familiar with. So I picked Lowe's to be our example today because that's something that you can recognize, you can easily go to and understand what they were trying to do there. So as far as branding goes, they've got everything across the board in line with their logo. They have links cross-referencing other platforms, so you can leave one and go to the other if Pinterest is an idea for you to be able to do something. Lowe's, how to do it on YouTube channel, and Instagram to see what's coming up next, for example. Once you've identified those gaps in yours, I want you to take that information, go visit your channel, open them up all the way across the screen here, and take a look at what you have. I want you to, again, look at this little circle here. Your picture should be either your face if you're the brand, or your logo if your logo is recognizable as Lowe's is. The header image, you can create this in Canva and you can make it different sizes, so you can resize the same picture for each of these platforms. Your Facebook, you'll notice here, has a taller size than your LinkedIn. Your LinkedIn is very narrow, and that one is similar to, but not quite the same dimension as your YouTube. So once you have an idea of what you want to put in there, let's take a look at the LinkedIn one here. So they actually have a lot of pictures and a lot of content across the top up here. If you were to redo this and size it for the other ones, you would just simply create a new one, resize it to the dimensions of Facebook. And you can certainly Google that, or you can use the tools inside Canva. Say, I need a Facebook header, I need a LinkedIn header, I need a YouTube cover picture. And they'll automatically come to the right size that it needs to be. But you can then copy and paste it so it's consistent. That would take care of having the things on the same color and on the same brand from platform to platform. Then we take a look at that bio, review what you have, make sure that everything in there talks about, again, a link, who you serve, what you do, and why they want to engage with you. And leverage the colors, your professional headshot, and the text that helps people to stay engaged with you. The next thing that we're going to talk about is your content. So as we begin to look at content, the only thing that we've done so far is the very top. Of each one of these platforms, we looked at the very tip top. We haven't scrolled anywhere. Now we're going to go down a little bit further into content. When we start brainstorming through the content that you're going to create, the first thing that I always do when I go down through your page is to see when the last time you posted. When was the last time you posted? Well, if you created something today because you knew we were going to meet in a meeting to go over your strategy, I'm probably going to scroll past that and say, are you consistent? Is there one every 2 days? Is there one every single day? Are you 3 times a day? Has it been since 3 months ago? Then we want to talk about the content that you are posting. Are you talking about pain points that your audience has? Is there something that they particularly struggle with that you want to answer questions to? So the audience is really going to define what we create in our content here. So if we think about carousels, there could be quick tips, little bits of teaching that they may do here if they want to show you how to use a particular tool. Maybe there's behind the scenes so you can see what the staff members are doing. Customer testimonials are another great one. If somebody has engaged with your brand or bought your product, you can share that on your social media, and even articles for your LinkedIn page. So if your audience doesn't really know what you are doing or how to engage with you, a carousel, which would be several pictures, could be three pumps to beat some kind of issue. If they need something simplified, a reel could be created, and we could look at the reels. We'll go here, and this is the five-step process to simplify building a cabinet. And you can take all of these. So we have Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok. They had several more, but what I have open is YouTube for five. So we have five things. We can rotate that content and recycle and repurpose that so it comes out to be a planned launch and not everything goes everywhere at the same time. So let's take a look first at their content. Let's take a look deeper at their actions, their call to action, what they want you to do. And then we'll take a look at their frequency. So as we go into their Facebook account, and I just simply clicked on Reels here, you'll be able to see what we have here. So here's their Reels. Then they have some photos down below and videos. But really, I just want us to stay up in the Reels. So I'm going to scroll back up to the top. If we click See More, it says the new holiday crew has arrived. Find these characters now available at your nearest Lowe's, and then they give us a link to it. That's simply all that's on there. And the next one, that's 3 flowers. That's it. So you can see there's not really a lot. But again, this shows one of those things that is informational and helps people to understand and breaks it down. Did you know that your paint tape color has a meaning and what it's for? I'll encourage you to go and check it out if you want to know more about that. But if we go back out of the reels into the content and we look at the frequency of their posts, the content that they're actually doing, so September 26th, September 24th, September 23rd, they were on a roll. Yeah, we're just in posts. I don't think I have any filters on. Let me check. Sorry. Nope. Welcome to the newest Red Vest Associate, here to help you. September 22nd. You can see that they are actually engaging as well. And then the 21st. So they're regularly, consistently posting content here. Now, let's check and see how their audience is doing on their Instagram. They have 248 likes, 83 comments, and 12 shares, just to give you an idea of how a national brand is actually doing. 690 likes, 117 comments, and 31 shares as we're going through, which of course is a cute little doggo. All right, let's go to our Instagram where they have 1,200 posts, a million followers. They have taken full advantage of their highlights. So Lowe's finds, hacks, DIYs. If you are not familiar with how to create these highlights, I've got some tutorials as well as how to hack Instagram to start getting a little more engagement out of your profile and what you can be doing in there. So you'll basically create your content and then add them here. There's some steps to go through there. But what it means is that they have each one of these up here are highlights. They're content that was created. and you'll see it's going to shift through old posts of theirs. So it's a collection of content that's Lowe's finds and hacks. They've created content that they thought was a good hack. So save you money, DIY backsplash, 45 seconds to fix a door, weed picker. So as you can see, there's some content in there. They've taken advantage of this as well. And Ding Dong Ditch, 10 hours ago, they've created Bumble Holiday Crew. And that video carries through here. Hold the dots and slide to see and your newest Red Vest associate. So they've actually engaged with having several images, which is cute, to get more engagement. So that's another way, another opportunity for you to get engagement, and what your goal is with your content, being consistent, creating some kind of action, having us to click through several helps. The carousel is another opportunity for you. Behind the scenes, again, now we have our behind the scenes. There's our newest employee. Moving, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these. This was the link in the bio, visit link. And this one was the one that took us to the actual store, which was great. LinkedIn, let's look at their posts and the frequency of their posts. We have 827,000 followers. A day ago, they're creating content. 4 days ago, related to dinosaurs. A week ago. So they're still posting content, and this content is more about the community. So the people on LinkedIn are different than the people on Pinterest, for example. The Pinterest users are looking for a way to engage with products to improve their area. The people on LinkedIn are seeing things about the stores and the culture and the community related to each of those locations. And again, they're still consistent. These are behind the scenes. These are people wearing their lanyards and their vests, and other people related to, let's see, veterans. And now we have merchandising. So we have some things that they're doing in one of the stores. And let's see, I don't think it tells us where he is, but he's actually doing some things inside the store, and they're sharing that as well. So there's a lot of features about culture here. So keep that in mind as far as content that you want to reach on different platforms. Again, they don't have to be exactly the same from one to the next. And I'm going to close this one. We have the official here, and we're going to close the hacked one. That then has 578,000 followers and content that they have created. Hacks, Lowe's finds, and DIYs. So there's a lot of content in here that they have organized, and they are in playlists, which doesn't actually tell me the consistency, but there's a lot of content there. And as we go into our YouTube channel and click over to videos, creating content, and we're going to do this in the latest order, not the popular, but we're going to do this in the latest. 6 days ago, 13 days ago, 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, a month ago. So it looks as though they're creating content at least one a week and engaging on how to do things. So using this how to build a pergola, how to install a washer, how to paint. People know that they need the next steps, so they're going straight to YouTube to find the how-tos. And Lowe's has stepped in to create the content to do it the right way and the best for whatever it is product that they're using. Okay, so creating content, being consistent, coming up with creative ideas on how to engage is the point behind that content and planning your content. So if you have the social media platform, but you don't do anything with it, I want to encourage you to write that one down and say, I need to be consistent in creating content. Do I want to do a carousel? Do I want to make reels? Are stories good for testimonials and putting those at the top? And if you want to know where those are in your page, you'll see this has a color around it. or on your others, it'll have something up here around it as well. So that'll let you know that you have a story that's up there. It's timely, so it's actually going to disappear, and it's just a temporary thing. So a behind the scenes of what's happening in the moment is what those are good for. And then, of course, we have reels, which last, they stay there, and they provide value and good content. Okay, the next step that we're going to move into is the call to action. And how do we have a call to action that captures the lead and turns them into a paying customer for you? Because content without a call to action is really a wasted opportunity. So every post that you create, every profile that you have on here, and every story that you create should nudge people closer and closer to engaging with your business and your brand. So some of those could be, which they aren't on here, but some of those that you could use are: download my free checklist, book your free 15-minute audit, save your seat for my upcoming workshop. Those are all call to actions that help you to engage with me, and we don't need a whole bunch of them, but we need to stay consistent and use it every single time. So whatever it is that we want our audience to do this week, and you can just do it weekly. Think about it in terms of, what is it at the end of the week that I want somebody to do? I want them to buy my book. Okay, well, every piece of content should be talking about, how can I buy your book? Where can I get that? How do I purchase it? Is it on Kindle? So that call to action and the content that we create is focused on getting book sales. If it's getting you to come into the store, for example, to buy the flowers, then we're going to link out all of those to the flower shop link on Lowe's.com. What is it that you want to have happen this week from your audience? Think about that for a second, write it down, take a mental note, and then the next 3 after that, if you can think about that, that's a whole month that we've got created. So this week, I want everybody to start booking for a consultation, or I have a goal to increase my email lead capture, because those are people that I can talk to on a regular basis. So how can I capture emails? Well, that free giveaway, the free checklist, or the free guide, or the free class, those are all ways to capture people who are interested in what you're selling. And so if you can do that, now you have a call to action. Now you've successfully captured that lead, and you can continue to market to them over time. So let's talk about some quick wins. The first thing is that these are all easy. So if you look at the pictures across all of your platforms, make it consistent. That's fast and easy. Just open them up, stay logged in, change that image, swap out that photo, and then I want you to go straight to the About section. And I want you to read the About section and make sure everything that's in there, your hours, your location, the contact phone number, the links to the other profiles. That's one of the things that they could do here, is add links to their other profiles and cross-reference all of those to get more followers across the board. Then I want you to think about that lead magnet. So where do we want them to go? And remember, in here, it's the visit link bio, which brings us to here. So that could be as simple as having people come to your link, like Linktree, for example, and have everything in there. So that could be a constant tool for you, depending on where you want them to go. If you have a website, great. If you have a landing page or a funnel, then those are all opportunities for you to get those people to have a quick win. Click on the link, download the guide, and don't overcomplicate the tools. So inside Meta, you have a scheduling tool. We talked about consistency. So your pictures, your top pictures, this one here and this one here, your link, and your intro or the bio, making sure that that's written well, are all important for you to do that. So with the bio, with these here, and now you're creating content inside Meta. Now Meta is only going to go to Facebook and Instagram, so you'll still be on the hook for LinkedIn and TikTok, and YouTube. But this is also about tools too. So we have Canva for graphics. You can schedule from Canva. And if you need, I have a link to Metricool. That's another scheduling software that allows you to go to all of them. And if you don't have more than just Facebook and Instagram, then I encourage you to use Meta. Inside there, you'll be able to schedule your content, create your hashtags, use your links, and you can schedule that separate times for Facebook and Instagram if you want and get consistent. Those are your quick wins and your tools. Next, we want to talk about how you're going to build the content. So we looked at the consistent times that these guys were posting from here to here all the way through, how often they were coming out. I want you to plan your dates around that call to action. What do you want to do this week? I want to sell my book. Okay, so now we need to be consistent, show up, don't disappear, because if people are following you and engaged with your content, if you disappear, you're going to be I guess, demoted on the algorithm. So the more they engage with you, the more people like your content, the more you're going to show up in front of them. So plan your dates, plan your platform, post those in advance, and rotate between value and story and promotional content. So at the end of the week, I want you to ask yourself what really worked, and you can go into your analytics and you can see which one had the most engagement. If you don't even know where your analytics are, you can just come here. 142 likes, 250 likes, 135 likes, 490 likes. As soon as we get to the dog, 693 likes. So all we have to do is go down through our history of the last week, take a look at that, then go to our comment section and our shares section. If you cannot do anything else and you're not able to get into your analytics, that is going to be your benchmark. That's what worked. How could you improve? Well, let's see what the caption was. See more. Not sure who's cuter, Sam, the red healer, or the pumpkins. Dogs of Lowe's. So, what could you have done? There probably isn't anything that I would link to. I'm not going to ask people to go to buy that. But what we talked about was having the link and the call to action and the things that we want people to do. But remember, we're creating content that rotates between value, stories, and promotional content. So this one, probably not much I could do. It just helps to boost the content and engagement. Then what's one thing I'm going to try different next week? I would probably say they could have done a video or created an animation with this dog and turn that into something that has eyeballs. So the videos are way more engaging than a photo. So I would actually recommend this be turned into some kind of animation that's an MP4. You can put that into Canva and download that as an MP4, put some music behind it, and probably turn that into something a little more engaging. So that's what I would make as my recommendation. What's the one thing to try differently next week? If I have all posts that are static images, next week I'm going to try something that's animated or a video. That then helps you to be more excited about what's coming up next. So you're creating content, you may see that there's a low number of likes, there's maybe hardly one or two people that maybe comment on your content. That's okay. Your goal is to start looking at challenging yourself to make it a little bit better each time. So, to wrap up, as you work through this process, I want you to celebrate those wins. Maybe your new bio is going to attract a new client, or maybe that reel that you've created and cross promoted on YouTube Shorts and your TikTok channel gets traction and more people are starting to see it. Or maybe you just feel more confident showing up on video and talking to people about your brand. The next step is actually simple. I want you to pick up one new thing today, do the 3 quick wins, your post, create a content that maybe talks about a tip, how to use your brand, and then 30-day content calendar. Write it down. Don't wait until it's perfect. Just start creating content. But if you want more hands-on help or a content creation plan for you or even a done for you service, I'd love to chat. You'll find a link to book a free consultation with me. And social media doesn't have to feel overwhelming. With clear profiles, mapped out content, and consistent call to action, your platform is actually going to work for you. I want to thank you for joining me. And I want you to tag me and share your social media overhauls. Send me some pictures and let me know how it went for you. And I hope this has been helpful. And I will see you in the next video.